Good morning. Welcome to Dogwood Life. It's Richie here. It may look like a gorgeous, beautiful, sunny day out there today, but I've come to an unfortunate reality. Fall's coming. So, today our project is going to involve getting our fifth wheel prepped up and winterized and put to bed for the year. Pains me to say it, but that's where we're at. So, I've started out already. I've opened up the drain on the fresh water tank to make sure there is no water left in the main tank. I've got the furnace going, just warming it up in there right now so you can feel that. If you look under here, you see this drain. That's what I'm talking about. That's the main water tank drain, and it's just dribbling out right now to finish up. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the port on the back of the hot water heater. That's going to allow that to drain out so it's empty, and I have a bypass inside the trailer that I will switch the valves around on in a second. So if you look in here at our water system, there is right down on the bottom, it's hard to see I guess in the camera, but there is a valve. It is a 15/16 inch plug. We're going to open that up. Try not to wear all of it, but that is going to drain out our hot water tank. So that is draining, and we'll open this breather so it gets fresh air in and let her back. All right, so we have our water tank drained, our fresh water. We have our hot water heater drained out. Next step, we've got our little pancake air compressor hooked up to a hose and a fitting into our city water connection. So that's going to allow me to put just straight air into our water system, which therefore allows me to get any water out without having to put any antifreeze in our freshwater system. Although a lot of people do, I personally prefer not to. I've always done it this way. So we're going to go into the trailer and we're going to find our valves to bypass the hot water heater, so that as we're putting pressure to it, it's not just blowing out. Sorry, just trying to hold the door open. So that it's not just blowing out the open hot water heater that we have right now. By closing that off, by bypassing it, we just eliminate that possibility. Now, every trailer is going to have these valves in a different place depending on where your hot water heater is. Ours is in the back, in the boys' bunks. You see that little hatch right there? That is where our valve is. So, we're looking at the back of the water heater. Right now, we have the red line open and the blue line open with the crossover closed. What we're going to do now is we're going to close our hot water out, we're going to close our fresh water in, and we're going to open our bypass valve in the middle. By doing that, our hot water heater is isolated off, and any air we push into our system to flush it will come through the blue line and up here and back out that way, allowing us to drain out all of our different valves and fittings throughout the trailer. Alright, so now with our bypass opened up, our hot water isolated, we are going to just start opening valves one at a time. I'm going to open a valve now, then I'm going to go out and I'm going to open the valve on the compressor so it's feeding air in without overpressurizing the system and, blowing lines all to smithereens, because that kind of defeats the purpose of what we're working on here. By doing one valve at a time, one line at a time, we just simplify and reduce the risk of water staying in behind. I'm not going to have a lot of camera going while we're doing this, as the compressor's noisy, and you're not going to be able to hear me anyways, so we're just going to save your ears on this one. Alright, so the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to disconnect our water lines on both sides of our pump. We're going to run our pump for just a second to make sure there's no water in it, and then we'll give it just another burp of air into the system to make sure that this line is also completely empty. Basically all we're doing is just making sure there's no way for any water to be trapped in the system through the winter. If there's a little puddle somewhere, it's going to freeze, it's going to thaw, it's going to be fine, but you don't want a trapped area where it can't escape, because that's when it freezes and it breaks. So, water's all drained out, pump is isolated and drained, water tank is drained, fresh tank, hot water. Pretty sure we've got everything blown out now and ready to go. What we're going to do is we're going to hook up to the truck. We're going to head over to the Sammy dump and hook up the black water flush. So basically what that's going to do is just make sure that there's no residual from the summer and just give it a good spray down. Make sure we're going to start from scratch without a bunch of nasty odors and stuff next spring. So yeah, bear with me here. We'll hook up the truck, get her pinned, and you can tag along. So we're going to make sure we've got our landing gear up, we've got our trailer plugged in, we've got our breakaway switch set up, just all sorts of things to make sure that as we're going down the road, this trailer's staying with us, and in the insane event that it didn't, the brakes are going to apply, it's going to stop before it takes out 50 other cars on the highway. So we're going to hook up our hoses and set them up here and empty out these tanks so she's all dry for the winter. Well, we got her done. She's in the yard. She's ready. All I have left to do is dump some RV antifreeze down into the drains to make sure that the sewers stay intact. So, on that note, we will talk to you all later. Thanks for watching. This has been Dogwood Life. Bye-bye.